Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Green and this is another of my lessons on Algebra 1. We're looking at the last concept in Chapter 2 in Unit 2, and we're going to be looking at the concept of opposites, okay? Now, when you think about that number line that we had at the very beginning of this unit, for every number that was on that number line, there was an opposite number. Especially when we start talking about the integers. At -1 was opposite of 1. 3 is opposite of -3. Negative or 4 is opposite of -4. So they're opposite each other. They're essentially the same distance from 0 every time. So let's talk about opposites for a second. Opposites in one situation, up and down, in and out. 3 and -3 are opposite each other. 21 and -21 are opposite of each other. Opposite in the sense that when they would cancel each other out when put together, right? So, the absolute value is where we use that opposite. You might have seen it written like this, the absolute value. What we're talking about here is that x is a variable or a number or expression, and it's the distance from the origin at 0. So you've got a number line sitting here. X could be this number out here, and you're talking about this distance. Okay? Now, when you start talking about distance, you never go negative in distance. You always go positively. Okay? So it will always be written as a positive number. Now, simplistically, whatever you see inside of the absolute values, you're going to make it the positive version of that number. That's simplistic in viewing it. But you need to realize that that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the distance from 0 in every situation. Okay? So let's try a few. The absolute value of 5, 5. The absolute value of -8. Well, -8 is 8 units away from 0, so it would be 8 would be the correct value. Okay? The absolute value of -3x. Well, the absolute value of -3x is 3x units because it's 3x units away from 0. Now, the absolute value of 3x is 3x. Hey, wait a second. These two are exactly the same. And that's the whole point. That when you're looking at absolute value, there are two answers a lot of times. Two answers. Okay? So if you're looking at some of these and you're trying to solve absolute value problems, remember there could be two values that fit inside of the absolute value that give you these same results. So, if I said the absolute value of x is 14, what's my value of x? Well, x is either 14 or -14. Either one of those will work. Okay? So you could say this or -14. This is what you're going to be looking at a lot of times. It's trying to find the value of x inside of the absolute value when they give you a value out here. Okay? So, having said that, I'm sure you will have some questions coming out of the problem set. Feel free to bring those to tutoring. Let's talk about them. Let's make certain you understand how to work the problems that you're looking at. Some of those problems will show up on the quiz, and then some of them will show up on the test later on. So you need to make certain you understand how to work them and what's going on. Remember, x is the distance away from the origin, so when you get asked that, you'll remember what it's coming from. I look forward to seeing you.